Barnyard. Yeah! That's my dude, man. He's fun. Yeah, I've been noticing, I've been scrolling through my Facebook feed, and everybody has their opinion on how the debates have gone tonight. We're here at Emilio's telling jokes, so fuck them and their opinions. I thought that was awesome that he went with a Steve Jobs joke, and I realized like everybody in that corner has an Apple iPhone, and it's like weird. Like, I don't care because I think Steve Jobs dying is funny all the time. That's a good one. Welcoming to the stage tonight, I have not seen her before. Very pretty young lady, Allison Rook. Give it up for her, guys.
Yeah, I just moved here. What a scary, fun move. So I watch a shit ton of TV. I watch a lot of TV, more than anyone should, I guess. And my favorite show on television right now is I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant. Are you guys familiar with this show? It isn't Lifetime, and this is a mostly male audience. Basically, the premise of the show is it's a lot of women who don't know that they're pregnant until that baby's head is hitting the floor of the bathroom at the Y. It's my favorite show for a lot of reasons. The first reason is because it shows that you can be pregnant and you can do whatever the hell you want to do, and the baby's gonna be fine. Because these babies, these women, they're drinking, they're smoking, they're like eating sushi, jumping on trampolines. You aren't supposed to do those things. And the babies turn out fine. She's like, well, this is my little Michael, my darling Michael. He's 5 years old now. He's bilingual. He's tutoring an Asian in calculus, and he got early acceptance to Harvard. So I'm like, great, pregnancy is going to be a party. Another reason I like it is because these women, they basically should know. They go through the symptoms. There are a lot of times when you should know. The typical episode plotline goes like this. It's, well, I was dating this man, Jim, and me and Jim, we were in love, so I didn't use birth control, but I didn't think nothing of it. And it's like, think a little bit of it at least, please. And she's like, you know, me and Jim, we broke up, and I gained about 60, 70 pounds, but I figured that was breakup weight, so I didn't think nothing of it. Get the wheels turning, think a little bit, just think some. And she's like, you know, I didn't get my period for about 8.5 months, but we women, we fluctuate, I didn't think nothing of it. And I just want to say, like, there's like, I think maybe 2 or 3 girls in the audience tonight, but like, if you don't get your period for 8.5 months, I'll give you my number, call me, like, think something of it. You're definitely having a kid at that point, I'll be there with you. And my favorite thing about it is I have this weird thing for television shows or movies that really drive the title home. Like, they just drive it home in that show. And one of my favorite episodes, it had this girl, and she had this best friend named Velvet. And so that's all she had was Velvet because her and Jim had broken up. So she was in the ER, and they were like, who should we call? She's like, call Velvet. And Velvet comes running in, and she's like, girl, you didn't tell me you was pregnant. And she's like, girl, I didn't know I was pregnant. That's all, I just like that. That's not even a joke. That's, thank Lifetime for that. Another thing with television is the Why Do You Think commercials. Have you guys seen these?
Yes.
It's kind of an oldie but a goodie. They're not as much anymore. But my favorite one, it has this girl, and she's like at a house party, and she's just vomiting, and she's clearly like 18, or supposed to be in the commercial. She's just like, and like a high school diploma comes out. And she's like, and it's like a trophy. And she's like, and a family portrait comes out. It's supposed to be like, oh, don't drink, you're throwing up everything you've accomplished. But I love it, because every time I watch it, I'm just like, well, like, don't eat a trophy when you're drunk, you amateur. Duh. I remember her first house party. But then I think more into it, and I'm like, well, hold on. Like, what would someone really accomplished throw up? And in my dumb 22-year-old head, I'm like, George Clooney's very accomplished. What would he throw up? And I'm like, he'd be there, he'd be like, a couple of seasons of ER. Like, the salt and pepper hairdo being okay for men. Like Brad Pitt, that would be a big one, because you know that they're doing it, but we don't talk about it. We agreed because the Illuminati made us. What else? So I've been told I give a mean blowjob. And by that I mean I don't give any blowjobs. Apparently that's very mean. I was reading in Glamour magazine, which is the utmost of intellectual content, but I was reading in the love and relationship section, and it said, quote, "A good morning hand job shows your partner that you care."
What?
I thought that was a weird way to phrase things, because I don't think, if I was dating some man named Robert or something, I think if I woke him up with a good morning HJ, I don't think he'd go to the office and be around the water cooler and be like, you know what guys, like, this morning Allison, she woke me up with a good morning hand job, and like, woo! That bitch, like, she fucking cares. Like, she knows. I don't think that. I don't think it shows you care. I think, I don't want to be a bitch, but I think if anything, it shows you're a little bit lazy. How much, is this one 5 minutes or 10 minutes? I meant to ask.
10 minutes!
Let's see what else. Alright, let's go into grocery stuff. So, for a while there, I was what I define as violently single. And I'll define this for you guys. They say the 40s are your new 30s as a woman, so that makes your 30s your new 20s. I think that makes your 20s your new fucking insane. Like, we're just nuts. But I dated someone, you know when you date someone, ladies, but men can do this too, when you're like, dating someone that's the opposite of correct for you. Like, I was dating some guy who would, like, would hear the word abortion and be like, I don't like that word, no. It's like, what was I doing? But one time, this guy picked me up. I was at a beer opening in DC, so I was with some friends, and it was a Saturday night, and I was like, hey, come on in. And he was like, no. And I was like, well, can you give me a ride home? And he was like, sure. And I get into the car. We'd been dating for like 2 weeks at this point. I step in the car, and he goes, ugh. And I was like, what are you ughing about? Like, that's something for at least the 7-month point. And he was like, you smell like a distillery and a brewery mixed together. And I was like, well, 1, that sounds like a delicious smell. 2, you smell like a pussy. Did not like that. Did not like that. So, with those people skills, obviously, it's like needless to say, I've been dumped a few times in my life. And the most recent one was an unexpected breakup. Has anyone had this happen?
Yes.
An unexpected, where you get ready for the date, you go girl, I'm with you. I'll buy you a drink. Well,
Yeah,
I'll write you an IOU for a drink.
Send me my tab.
But, so yeah, an unexpected breakup. She's been through it. You get ready for the date. You're so excited. You like do your hair, your nails, your makeup. You're like, oh, we're going on this date. And then like, bam, they hit you with the breakup. And you're like, this sucks. So he was sitting there and he was like, like post-breakup, waiting for the check. He was like, you look really upset. Do you want to talk about anything? Or like, what are you thinking? And I was like, you know, I really don't want to talk about it. We just broke up. You just dumped me. We don't need to have this like these niceties. And he was like, no, please, like, what are you thinking? What's in your mind? And I was like, Jesus. I was like, okay, well, like, do you really want to know what I'm thinking? And he was like, yes. And I was like, all right, well, honestly, I'm thinking like, I shaved my asshole for this.